that the food of African people? Slave food. The food that we find most satisfying. The food that we find that sticks to our ribs. The food that we call down home. A food that we learn to eat in the quarters. And yet we dare say that we have escaped slavery. What kind of food do you eat? You say soul food? Was that the food of African people? Slave food. What kind of food do you eat? You say soul food? Was that the food of African people?
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. This is Damon K. Jones here, the Health Mindset. Thanks for watching the show. Today we're going to actually discuss the crucial role of a man's diet and health, and that men, we should beware of eating too much processed meat. A 2013 Harvard study reveals alarming connection between processed meat consumption and the male reproductive health. So I think, we need to look at that. This is the health mindset. We need to start thinking healthy, especially men, when we're talking about reproductive health and our value as men. In this day and age is all around sex. So, if you're not eating correctly, and let me say this, the more and more you look around, if you look on social media, if you look on these ads that you see on social media, it's more and more young men having problems with erectile dysfunction. Now, I remember when the commercials used to first come out, is to be promoted to older men in their 60s and their 70s. Now you see little babies talking about they're having erectile dysfunction issues because we have become a culture of bad eating habits. And what comes with those bad eating habits are effects. And you see the different type of medication and pills that they offer now online. But that, as we always say here, those type of pills and medications that they give us for the symptoms, but they never address the cause of the issue. So you might have ED, but what is the cause of the issue? The cause is a lot of times low blood flow. And there's another report. They're saying that, erectile dysfunction is the first sign that you're going to have heart disease, and a heart attack is a down the road when you have erectile dysfunction. So, that's something we really have to be mindful of as men. I wrote an article on blackwestchester.com, and I'll have the link, but I'm going to read from this article because it's packed with a lot of great information that we can talk about and have discussions down the line. But, I say in a particular 2013 study conducted by Harvard University sheds light on the alarming relationship between processed meat consumption and the male reproductive health, underlining the need for men to be cautious about their dietary habits. The detrimental effects of processed meat. When it comes to processed meat, men should be aware of the potential risks associated with consumption. The Harvard study reveals that men who consume the highest amount of processed meat are more likely to experience abnormalities in sperm count, size, and shape. The finding is a cause for concern, as it may have significant implications on male fertility and reproductive. The impacts Sperm quality. Sperm quality is a crucial factor in the male fertility. Absolutely. And any disturbances in sperm count, size, and shape can negatively affect the couple's chances of conceiving. The study finds and it indicates that the consumption of processed meat can contribute to such abnormalities, posing a potential obstacle for couples planning to start a family. So, what are the mechanisms behind determining the factors? The mechanisms behind the detrimental effects of processed meat on sperm quality are still being investigated. Certain factors are thought to play a role. One possible explanation is the high saturated fat, sodium, and chemical additives often in processed meat. These components have been highly linked to inflammation, oxidative stress, hormone imbalances, which can impact reproductive health. The quality of a man's sperm can potentially adversely affect the child's health and development. Sperm quality refers to the sperm count, the sperm movement, the sperm shape, and the DNA integrity within the sperm. Suppose there are abnormalities or impairments to these aspects. In that case, it may affect the fertility and increase the risk of certain health conditions of the child. So I'm going to read off some of the potential impacts of having poor sperm quality from having poor diets: reduced fertility, increased risk of birth defects, neural disorders, genetic disorders. Should I read that again so we understand? Reduced fertility, increased risk of birth defects, neural disorders, genetic disorders. So these are the different disorders that you have from having bad diets, that you might produce bad sperm that will produce these issues in your children. And the neural development disorder, I mean, that's ADHD. That's what they like to label a lot of our kids with ADHD, and like them punch them up with a whole bunch of medication. But we have to look at ourselves. How did we treat our body before we decided that we was going to have a child? And men, if you decided you was going to have a baby, you didn't clean, detox, pray and meditate, and clean the toxins out of your body. You just flick it and stick it, and you're not taking care of your body, and that coexists on the sperm. And then you have the mother that's not taking care of her body, and then the egg is developing in a fetus that has never been detox clean, and she's eating bad food. The kid's coming out crazy as hell. And y'all want to blame the kid, but you gotta look in the mirror and look at yourself. You didn't eat properly. Why? Y'all, neither one of y'all was on any type of clean eating diet and fasting and praying. Before y'all decided to have sex and go out here and produce a child, and then you wonder why the child is crazy as hell, because the parents didn't take enough time to properly heal, maybe from a relationship before it, or continue to eat clean, exercise, pray, meditate, and develop the godly energy within them. So if they got pregnant, you know, the child was in a safe place, not a unclean place because of the diet. And not only that, they're not spiritually connected, and they haven't got rid of their trauma. And then all that is built up inside of the mother. And then maybe her and the father is not together in the trimesters of her being pregnant. So all that stress is put up on the mother. So we have to be really mindful on us having children and the science behind children. So let's look at the let's look at the link between diet and erectile dysfunction. Like I said, when you take the pills for ED, right, it's just addressing the effect. You can't get up to go to work with ED. So it addresses the effect. It addresses the effect of ED. So you could get that, but you still are having these things. And a lot of it is from poor diet. So let's look at the factors of erectile dysfunction. Um, One is nutrient deficiency. A poor diet lacking in essential nutrients can lead to the deficiencies that affect various bodily functions, including sexual health. Obesity and metabolic syndrome, excessive consumption of calorie dense, nutrient poor foods can contribute to obesity, a significant risk factor for erectile dysfunction. It also increases the likelihood of developing metabolic syndrome characterized by high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and abnormal cholesterol levels, all of which further increase the risk of erectile dysfunction. Impaired cardiovascular function. This comes from just having a poor diet. High in saturated fat sugars can lead to inflammation, insulin resistance, negatively impacting cardiovascular health. Heavy blood flow is crucial for achieving and maintaining an erection. Impaired cardiovascular function can hinder this process. And and like I said, I'm not sure if I said it earlier, one of the signs they say erectile dysfunction, if you have erectile dysfunction, you're going to have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, and you're going to be expected to go into the hospital sooner or later if you don't take care of yourself. So those are the betting. If I was a betting man, I would bet on those statistics. So let's look at obesity and erectile dysfunction. The excess body fat, particularly in the abdominal region, can disrupt hormonal balance, including testosterone levels. Low testosterone can contribute into decreased libido, reduced sexual performance, and increased risk of ED. Obesity is associated with endothelial dysfunction. I might have messed that up. Impairing the ability of blood vessels to dilate and deliver adequate blood flow to the penis tissue. This can result in difficulties in achieving and sustaining an erection. So if you want to get a little more tougher, lose 20, 25 pounds. As simple as that. Lose weight and get up. And I think that's the best way to do it. Diabetes and erectile dysfunction. Consumption of high sugar foods can lead to insulin resistance, a hallmark of type 2 diabetes. Insulin resistance affects blood vessel health and can contribute to ED. Nerve damage. The uncontrolled diabetes can cause damage to nerves, including those responsible for transmitting signals required for erectile function. This can lead to decreased sensitivity and difficulties in achieving and maintaining an erection. What about inflammation? Does that have an effect on erectile dysfunction? Diet high in processed foods and often low essential nutrients and high pro-inflammatory substances, chronic inflammation can contribute to erectile dysfunction and impair mechanisms necessary for a healthy erectile. Oxidative stress and cellular damage. Unhealthy diets deficient in antioxidants can result in oxidative stress, leading to cellular damage and impaired vascular health. This can negatively affect on the blood flow in the penis tissue. So, what are the healthy alternative? Given the implications of the Harvard study, a broader research linking the processed meat consumption to various health risks, men need to take action by reducing or eliminating processed meat from their diets. Men can improve overall health and potentially mitigate their reproductive risks associated with processed food consumption. So, what are the foods we should be eating? We should be eating legumes, right? We should be eating beans, lentils, chickpeas. All are example of legumes that boast impressive protein content. Leafy greens, vegetables like spinach, kale, broccoli are rich in vitamins and minerals and contain protein. Nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, hemp seeds are examples of plant-based protein and a source that offer an array of health benefits. Quinoa. Quinoa is a complete protein source, providing all of the 9 essentials amino acids that the body needs. The benefits of a plant-based protein, incorporating fruits and vegetables as a protein supplement, incorporating fruits and vegetables as a protein substitute benefits our health and our environment. Plant-based proteins are low in saturated fat, cholesterol, and they are heart healthy options. Transitioning to a diet relying more on fruits and vegetables and protein is gradual. Begin by incorporating plant-based protein options into your meal and experimenting with new recipes. Combining different sources such as legumes, leafy greens, nuts, seeds can help create a well-rounded protein-packed meal. Always consult with a always consult with a nutritionist, a dietitian, your doctor that can provide professionalized guidance. Let's not forget exercise. Exercise can potentially help improve sperm quality in older men as well. While age-related factors can affect sperm parameters, regularly exercising has a positive effect on sperm quality, regardless of the age. And here's how exercise can affect sperm quality: increase blood flow and hormone levels, enhance sperm count and motility, reduce oxidative stress, weight management and hormone balance, and your overall health and well-being. The 2013 Harvard study serves as a wake-up call for men to pay closer attention to their dietary choices, particularly regarding processed meat consumption. The findings underscore the potential risk of male reproductive health, emphasizing the need of dietary modifications. By reducing the processed meat intake, opting for a healthier fruit and vegetable diet, and regular exercise, men can improve their overall health and potential by enhancing blood flow, reducing oxidative stress, and promoting a hormone balance. So that's it. That's the question fellas, we gotta eat more fruits and vegetables. We have to understand the crucial role that processed food plays in our lives, and why so many Black men, and this is part of the reason that so many Black men are having high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and their diabetes, and they're starting very young. And this is why they're promoting erectile dysfunction medication to younger men, because our diets are so messed up. They can give it to our young men early. And once you get on that medication, you can't get off. So understand that. So check out the article on Black Westchester Magazine if you want any more questions. Check us out. Motivational Mondays at 8 p.m. on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Check us out on that if you have any questions. And remember, we out of here. God is in your vegetables. Peace.
Was that the food of African people? Slave food. The food that we find most satisfying. The food that we find that sticks to our ribs. The food that we call down home. A food that we learned to eat in the quarters. And yet we dare say that we have escaped slavery. What kind of food do you eat? You say soul food? Was that the food of African people? Slave food. What kind of food do you eat? You say soul food? Was that the food of African people?